Well, welcome back to Digits here at WSJ Live. I'm Simon Constable. How do you know when you should cut the cord, the cable cord that is? Well, it depends on how patient you are to wait to see shows like Game of Thrones, which we're watching a clip from now. Kelli Grant of SmartMoney is trying to tell us how to make that decision, because it is a hard one, and you've actually just been through this yourself relatively recently.
Well, it was about a year or so ago. I cut the cord. I ditched my cable bill, actually switched providers too, so I had a little bit of a faster internet connection, really stuck with Hulu Plus, Netflix, other combination to see a lot of the shows that I was interested in. Game of Thrones, though, big exception. Can't really get it.
Big exception. So you've written a piece for SmartMoney, and it's interesting that 400,000 customers in the last month, in the second quarter, according to the Wall Street Journal, cut the cord, and that's in an industry that's been used to sustained growth. That's quite a lot. You have a sort of way for people to work out whether they're going to be able to deal with this, right?
Yes,
pluses and minuses.
Not an easy decision. I mean, obviously, if you're the sort of person that you don't watch a whole lot of TV, which is why I did it, then this makes sense because you're looking at a pretty substantial cut in your bills. It obviously depends a lot, though, too, on what you watch. We actually asked readers for the Journal and everyone on Twitter to see, would you cut the cord? And a lot of people came back and they said, look, if I want premium channels, your HBO, your Showtime, I got to stick with it. If you watch a lot of live sports, then this is not going to be really feasible for you. And if you like a lot of live news, you're going to either need to look for some other sort of an alternative or stick with your bills.
Let's go through these. Serious sports seems to be insurmountable unless you're prepared to listen to it on the radio, right? And a lot of people, that is just no substitute.
For the most part, it really depends on what's your sport and what's your team. That some of the leagues actually have packages where you can watch the games. A few of them, they have some partnerships, like you can watch Sunday Night Football. You can actually watch that on NBC. They stream it. But for a lot of them, they're not going to show games in your local market because they assume you're going to watch that on live TV. And other ones, it's very limited as to what you're going to see. So sports, generally, it's a no.
Tricky. And radio, I would point to on the news front, is very good. That's
definitely.
That's the way I can get a lot of news too. So if you're gonna cut the cord, what sort of people should be doing that?
I think really if you can say that you're not the sort of person that you have to watch a lot of live TV, if you're content to say, see that great episode the next night, because that's when, in the most cases, it's available. This is good for you.
So you don't mind spoilers. If your colleagues are telling you what's happening, then that's, you don't mind that, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you come in the next morning and you can't handle having everyone tell you what happened on the latest Game of Thrones or Mad Men, then this is probably not going to help you. You're going to go crazy. But if you're the sort of person that would have DVR'd it anyway to watch later, then this might work.
That might work. Now, if you live in New York City, there's another alternative, isn't there? You can snip the cord here with Aereo, right? You still have to pay something, though.
You do. Most of their plans, they actually start out, you can watch an hour of live TV a day on some sort of a Mac iOS device, and then it goes up from there, where if you want to watch more packages, or you want to see something on DVR, then you're going to pay a little bit each month, but still pretty good deal if you live in the city right now.
You said you've cut the cord for about 18 months, and I've done this for at least 10 years. You
were the forerunner.
How has this been for you? I mean, how have you found that?
I really don't mind it. I actually find that I watch a lot less mindless TV. I used to be the sort of person, I think John Jurgensen wrote a piece a few weeks ago where he talked about binge watching, that I would sit down and watch like a Law and Order marathon and then look up and be like, oh geez, 6 hours passed. So this now, I would say I read a lot more. I get to do a lot more of other things that do not involve TV watching, and I'm only really watching the stuff that I'm excited to see.
Great stuff. Yeah, that is awesome stuff. Well, that's sort of how I live my life too. Thank you very much. Kelli Grant, you can read more on that on smartmoney.com.